We're going to call this meeting to order, if we could, please. First, this is the Grand Terrace County Board of Commissioners regular meeting, Wednesday, January 29th, 2014. If you could silence cell phones, I would appreciate that. And we'll have the opening ceremonies, the invocation, and the Pledge of Allegiance, please, first. Invocation.
Our dear God, we love you and we thank you for your love for us. This board has been struggling with financial issues and interviewing our wonderful county employees. And God, I want to take special time tonight to thank you for giving us such wonderful people to work for who've been so steadfast and helpful to our citizens. We're thankful for our county employees, God. Thank you so much. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Rennie?
Here.
Inman?
Here.
Thomas?
Yep.
Wheelock?
Yes, ma'am.
Max Bauer? Here. Lathrop?
Here.
Lemko?
Here. Thank you. Next is the approval of minutes. Do we have to do those individually?
I don't see, if you were all at all of them, I don't think you would have to.
I think Sonny was gone from one of them.
Yeah. I was gone from the 15th meeting.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve the special board meeting minutes of September 23rd, the November 27th, the December 26th regular meeting, the January 2nd organizational meeting, the January 8th budget meeting, the January 10th budget meeting, the January 17th budget meeting, and the January 22nd. I can't do the 15th because I wasn't here.
Support.
Support by Max Bauer. Any discussion or any comments? Do I have to have roll call on this?
Yep.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Inman?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yeah.
Wheelock?
Yes, ma'am.
Max Bauer?
Yes.
Lathrop?
Yes.
Rennie?
Yes.
Lemko?
Yes. Next, I need approval to the January 15th budget meeting.
So moved.
Support.
Inman, support by Max Bauer. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Thomas?
Yep.
Wheelock?
Abstain, please.
Max Bauer?
Yes.
Lathrop?
Yes.
Rennie?
Yes.
Inman?
Yes.
Lemko?
Yes. Thank you. Next is the first public comment. If you would read the rules, I would appreciate that, Bonnie.
Any person shall be permitted to address a meeting of the Board of Commissioners which is required to be open to the public under the provision of the Michigan Open Meetings Act as amended. Public comment shall be carried out in accordance with the following board rules and procedures. Any person wishing to address the board shall state his or her name and address. Number 2, no person shall be allowed to speak more than once on the same matter, including time needed to answer commissioners' questions. The chairperson shall control the amount of time each person shall be allowed to speak, which shall not exceed 3 minutes. Chairperson may, at his or her discretion, extend the amount of time any person is allowed to speak.
Is there anybody from the public that would like to make a comment at this time? Seeing none, we'll go to the approval of the agenda. Is there any additions to the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve the agenda.
Did we have the
as provided.
appointments of boards on here on the agenda?
I don't think we do. I think it was held.
I believe this is a new one, yeah.
I think we need to add that under unfinished business.
So we're going to put that under old business unfinished. Okay. Anything else that we need to add to the agenda? Motion to approve the agenda
As amended.
as amended.
So moved.
Motion by Wheelock, support by Max Bauer. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, motion's carried. Next is the consent calendar.
The purpose of the consent calendar is to expedite business by grouping non-controversial items together to be dealt with by one commission motion without discussion. Any member of the commission, staff, or the public may ask that any item on the consent calendar be removed and placed elsewhere on the agenda for full discussion. Such requests will be automatically respected. If any item is not removed from the consent calendar, the action noted, receive and file, or approval, is approved by a single commission action adopting the consent calendar. A, receive and file. Number 1, correspondence from Children's Advocacy Center dated January 9, 2014. Number 2, correspondence from Oscoda County Sheriff's Office, January 15. Number 3, correspondence from Zachary L. Willingham, received week of January 13. Number 4, community collaborative minutes, November 21st, 2013. Number 5, Department of Veterans Services minutes, November 21st. Number 6, Traverse Area District Library minutes. Department of Veterans Service minutes, November 21st. Number 6, Traverse Area District Library minutes, November 21st. Number 7, Department of Human Services minutes, November 22nd. Number 8, Special Board of Public Works Finance Committee minutes, December 9th. Number 9, Central Dispatch Policy Board minutes, December 12th. Number 10, Board of Public Works minutes, December 12th. Number 11, Board of Public Works Special Finance minutes, December 12th. Number 12, Department of Veterans Services minutes, December 19th. Number 13, Next Michigan Development Corporation minutes, December 19th. Number 14, Northern Lakes Community Mental Health minutes, December 9th. Number 15, Road Commission minutes, January 9th. Number 16, Resolution to oppose Senate Bill 552, Kalkaska County. D, approvals. The Public Health and Safety Committee recommends approval of the following. Number 17, Commission on Aging, acceptance of BASA funding. The Resource Management and Administration Committee recommends approval of the following. Number 18, Resource Recovery 2014 hauler licenses. Number 19, addition to Parks and Recreation's rules and regulations. Number 20, staffing changes, Antrim County Probation Department. Number 21, classification plan, supervisor, recreational vehicle division. The Ways and Means Committee recommends approval of the following. Number 22, jail prisoner reimbursement plan. Number 23, Department of Public Works acceptance of credit debit card payments for customer utility bills. Number 24, Department of Public Works EVO merchant services credit card transactions. Number 25, staffing plan amendment for planning and development. Number 26, budget adjustments.
Having heard the consent agenda, is there anybody from the audience who'd like anything removed? Any commissioners would like any item removed? Sonny?
The only comment that I have, I wonder if Grand Traverse County should also send a letter in opposition to Senate Bill 552.
Yeah.
I think
That
we've
is our
already done
resolution.
that.
That's exactly our resolution that you passed at the
Okay,
last
we
one.
passed it before, and I just, okay.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the consent calendar as provided.
Second.
I'm not used to this.
Enjoy.
It only happened to me once, Herb.
Yeah,
so-
well, okay, so we'll have roll call vote, please.
Second by Commissioner Inman?
Yes.
Correct? Okay. Commissioner Wheelock?
Yes, ma'am.
Max Bauer?
Yes.
Lathrop?
Yes.
Rennie?
Yes.
Inman?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yep.
Limkul?
Yes. There are no special orders of business that I know of. Nothing's removed consent calendar. So we have, the first item is the Human Resources, new classification compliance officer, District Court. Jen, are you going to cover this?
Thanks, Bob.
Good night, Bob.
Jen Seaman, Human Resources Director. At the Resource Management Administration meeting, Carol Stocking was here with the judges from District Court, well, a few of them, and it was approved for her to eliminate one FTE office specialist and a .5 FTE probation officer and add the 1.0 compliance officer. So that's just to refresh your memory on that. And this is just the compliance officer classification. This is actually a new position in the county. We don't have this compliance officer position. So from my end, I need to add it to the classification plan in order to actually post and fill this position.
Mr.
Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the new classification plan as presented.
Support.
Motion by Inman, support by Wheelock. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is, I get back to it.
Finance Department.
Claims. Is January Administrative Finance Claim Summary, which is on your desk.
It is where now?
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve claims in amount of $7,088,549.56 as provided by the Finance Director.
Support by Thomas. Any more discussion? Chris?
I need to know if the $800 picture frames are on this.
What was the question, Chris?
Well, they wouldn't be,
At claims,
it's claims today.
at claims,
I believe they were
last,
approved.
they were, not by me, but
Correct.
they were approved by claims on Tuesday. I will not be approving $800 in for 2 picture frames. So I need to know if those are on here.
Dean could tell you.
Dean's walking in right now.
Sorry.
Dean,
they
are the
are in here.
$800 picture frames on here?
I have to provide you with updated copies. I apologize, I didn't have a chance to review these, but if we could. Hold on just a
So do we
second.
need to withdraw the current motion because the
Dollar
amendment
amount's
is different?
changed.
We missed a check run on the 17th, and I was hoping I would have a little bit of time between the meetings to do that, but to answer your question, that item is on, or included in the second check run. It's the immediate payment accrual run on January 17th, the $199,548.99 has it, the $1,000.
All right, thank you. You'll need a roll call here.
We need to withdraw the
Right. we'll-
motion on the floor.
Mr. Chairman, I would withdraw the motion as was previous because we have a
And the
revised drawing.
support is also willing to
Yep.
withdraw? Okay.
Wait,
Where
what
is
happened?
Bonnie, I just moved to withdraw my motion because of the new information provided by the Finance Director.
All right.
Okay, I need
Now
a
you
new
need a new
motion
motion.
to support the,
Mr.
I
Chair,
gotta see where it is.
well, there was runs on the 17th, he said that weren't in here. Because the first one we had was for $7,088,000, and the one we have now is for $7,288,098.55. And I will make the motion to pay those bills as provided.
do I have support?
Sure,
Second.
you still got support.
I have support by Thomas. Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Max Bauer,
No.
Lathrop,
Yes.
Rennie,
Yes.
Inman,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yep.
Wheelock,
Yes, ma'am.
Lemko.
Yes. Thank you. Motion passes. Next on the, is old unfinished business, a GIS item, and that is by, for request for a employee to replace one that has retired. Ernie.
Good evening. Ernest Kachalia, GIS Director for Grand Traverse County. I have a rather lengthy letter here I'd like to read, but I won't.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I instead, however, would like to read a paragraph if I could. Earlier today, I watched Mr. Cooney speak to you about the benefits of technology in his office. Later, the sheriff's staff spoke of the efficiencies that technology has brought and may bring to his and is bringing to his office as well. In fact, I would venture to guess that more than 75% of the departments who will stand before you during these budget meetings will reference increased technology as a method by which they best can contain their budgets. GIS is part of that technology. Surely this board recognized that its value when they made it the second goal. It made technology the second goal of the 2013-16 strategic plan to strengthen and expand the county's use of technology and charge GIS with the task of spreading the technology to other departments. It is for this reason that I am asking the board to waive the current hiring freeze tonight and allow me to replace a position in GIS which was vacated due to a staff member's retirement. A vacancy in the staff which the public and the GT departments will sorely feel. I'm asking you to fill this position under 2 exceptions stated in the hiring freeze policy. The position is critical to department operations and would cause a substantial hardship on the operations of services to the public, and a prolonged vacancy in the position would place a hardship on the public either directly or indirectly. Please consider my request and grant me permission to post and fill this position in GIS at this time. I will now answer your questions.
Can I have a motion for approval? Sonny?
Mr. Chairman, I would move to authorize the posting and filling of the GIS position.
Do I have support? Support by Thomas. Do I have any discussion? Sonny?
David, would you have approved this one as an administrative function in that it is detrimental to the operation of the department?
It's, under normal circumstances,
Yes.
I would have approved it. When the County Board of Commissioners announced that their number 1 priority is public safety, and they left open 2 deputy positions, that changed my formula. Mentally, it changed my formulas to, there's a much steeper hill to climb to get above that now. Ernie's department is 4 people. That's a 25% cut in his department if you don't fill his position. He's going to have 3 people doing what 4 people have been trying to accomplish, and they're expanding GIS in the county at a very fast clip, and it's going to stop some of that expansion. It's going to stop. You just can't physically do it all. So
It's already stopped.
I would say yes. It's a substantial hit to his department, and I would have approved it for that reason.
Other discussion? Charlie?
So we have a retirement, is that what we're saying? Yes. This is essentially a replacement of a retired personnel with a new classification?
Nope.
Same classification?
Same.
Thanks.
So, Chris?
Dean had his hand up. I'd like to hear what he has to
Well, I
say.
just wanted to add to what Dave said. Ernie, when he did his presentation, which was last week,
Yes.
did also mention, and I'm speaking on behalf of support for this as well, because of the support that GIS provides to our equalization department. That is your main revenue source, and anything we can do
Okay.
to help equalization do their job, that's absolutely critical as far as I'm concerned, so
Ernie, they talk about spatial data. Isn't that what Bob was doing?
Oh, spatial data?
Spatial data.
Yeah, spatial. That is GIS data. Spatial just means it's data with a spatial component. So that's basically mapping data.
It was interesting talking with Bob at his retirement party about the need for the replacement in that department, that he felt that it was going to be a critical situation, especially when we come up with the assessments and where we're going to go and the working with other departments in our community. And so, when Ernie made the comment to me, what am I going to do? I said, put it on the agenda and so we can have this discussion. And I fully support what Ernie's trying to do in that department. So, Chris?
Is any of this going to be able to be funded by the Treasurer's Department, as we talked about previously?
I don't think so.
The postings were done through the tax delinquent postings. Now, Heidi's indicated that she might be taking that back to her department, but that hasn't been finalized as far as I know.
Okay. But on what you bring up is a good point, that let's see, shortly before Bob Vandermark left,
Yes.
and we were bringing in Jim Baker, it came real clear that things got changed around, and Ernie stepped up and made things work. He's doing some equalization work that got, those 3 departments work so closely together that, everywhere, they just get the job done. Whoever can handle it gets the job done. When you cut back on his department by a staff person, it makes it that much more difficult to get all that work done, so.
Larry?
Well, I hate to be the negative guy on this side, but we do this, we open up Pandora's box. I think every department head could come in and
Yep.
make a case that every position that needs to get filled in a department is critical.
I agree.
And if the sheriff is watching, and I'm sure he is, he just got off the edge of his chair, because if you talk about not filling 2 deputies, which is the number 1 priority of the county is public safety, and those officers backing up people and having officers responding to calls, and we're saying, no, you can't fill those. But we're saying to GIS, this mapping project's pretty important, we're gonna add this spot. If I was the sheriff, I'd be right back in here going, I want these 2 spots open. The only reason we passed that other exception was they had reduced their FTE by 2 and then added it by a smaller portion, so the overall difference was substantially lower. And which was the creative thing that the board has always been asking the departments to do. So, yeah, it's necessary, yes, we should be doing it. How do you tell the other departments that have vacancies that every position that they have, which we know every department's at bare minimum now, to get what they need to get done, because we've shaved them all down over the last 10 years. How do you tell them now, how do you redefine the hiring freeze and the issue of the critical issue to the public and to internal functions? To me, you open up Pandora's box.
Dave?
I hesitate to say this, but by that logic, then none of those things should be eliminated if we are at bare bones, rock bottom.
Pension bonds.
No, if you're at that level, then a hiring freeze doesn't make a lot of sense.
Well, it did make a lot of sense the last three or
It's a
4
nice,
years.
it's a,
When Sonny and Dick and I were on this board and we put hiring freezes in, every department came in and made a case, and we sat there and shook our head, and we approved every single one of them.
that's true, and there's usually a reason for that. It's
you
because
get-
every one of those positions,
They're all,
if you want to continue to provide the level of services you've been providing, and you put them into place for a reason,
I'm just saying you can't have both sides.
Well,
You
What you do get, though, is that we did not advertise for this position 3 months before the position become vacant. If I recall correctly, when the sheriff was here and talked about the 2 deputies' position, he was anticipating 2 officers leaving. Those were not vacant positions at the time he was asking.
I think that's incorrect.
I
Well,
don't think so.
that was the case here, too. I mean,
I think
that
Sonny's incorrect.
Ernie had asked for this position before Bob left. He would have liked to have had the transition time with the 2 positions, but Bob has retired.
If we hear a
make
siren
a
and
point?
flashing lights, we'll
Ernie?
I'd like to make 2 points, first of all. I appreciate what you're trying to do here, but this is 25% of my department. You know, I simply cannot function. Something is going to break. I can't do it. I'm already seeing it. We're losing ground as we speak. To the sheriff, that's 3.7% of his staff. This is 25%. There's a difference there, and you have to realize that difference. The other point I'm making is this is really frustrating for me personally, because I've been asked by you folks to ramp things up. And in the process of ramping things up, you're asking me to ramp things down, and I simply can't do it. I mean, in the last month or 2, I've been asked by, I mentioned this at the last budget meeting, you know, the local fire departments have asked me to do some work for them. We have an initiative in environmental health. We have a huge commitment to doing some online stuff, which is going to save the county in the long run in terms of interaction with the public. A lot of the information that they're coming in here and taking staff time for with the clerk's office or with the treasurer's office or with the equalization's office, they're going to now be able to get all that information on the web.
Chris?
If local fire departments are asking you to perform work, Ernie, why don't you contract it and charge them?
We are. With the actual data collection that they're going to be doing is probably going to be done on a volunteer basis. They have a young man there who's interested in doing that for them. We see this as a benefit for the county because this is a layer which is going to be on the dispatch consoles. And what it's going to do is tell the responding units where the closest water source is and the next closest water source is. It's very important for a rural fire, so.
Larry?
In order to have a level playing field, in my personal opinion, if we want to do this, we have to send a separate message. We have to say, yes, we would, you have to come now and justify the hiring of this position now, rather than just a flat no. And, because right now, the message to all the departments is a flat no. You do this, you better just open that up and say, we're not excited about it, you got to come in and explain to us why you need the position.
Charlie?
We have a hiring freeze, so every one of these folks can come by this board and we can look at that individually.
I know, but right now we
Doesn't
have,
mean we shouldn't be able to prioritize.
Oh, I agree.
In the event we need an individual to make something happen. So I think we
Agreed.
need the hiring freeze, but we should look at each case.
and I agree with that. I think we need to explain that. Because right now, the message, my understanding, the message we sent to all the department heads was, no.
I'm not sure that's the message that's been sent.
I don't think so.
I think we need to clarify that if we do this. I think the administrator needs to send a memo out. If we do this.
Go ahead, Dan.
How long does it take for us to wrap this up, do you think? I mean, if we said no tonight, and he has to wait until we cogitate on this and make some decisions, how far in the future would he have to wait?
He's going to be reducing the amount of work that he can do starting next month.
What I'm saying is, though, when do we plan to wrap this up? I mean, if we
I
say
mean-
no.
I mean, he's got some projects that have to be done starting in March, is it?
Well, beginning Marches are extremely busy, and if I got someone in, it would take me probably 4 weeks to train them. So, I mean, I'm already going to be behind the 8 ball because I've got to post and hire and then train.
He's 3 weeks away before he hires anybody.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I still am asking the same question is, when will we wrap this up, do we think?
When will we wrap what up?
You mean the budget process?
Yeah, when
The
are
end
we
of
gonna
February at
make
this
our,
point.
do we have a date in mind?
The end of February is it?
End of February.
So it's a matter of a month away, right?
Yeah. So we got the majority of all the people already, so.
Yeah.
If I might make a point, regarding the nature of this hiring freeze, that, we can't, you can't send a message, but and there is no provisions, but you do have provisions in your hiring freeze for exceptions. And I believe that this is one of those exceptions. I wouldn't be here if I didn't think it was an exceptional case. If I had a staff like the sheriff has, is 54, and 2 of them I couldn't hire for 2, I would understand that. But I just, this is critical to me, and I simply can't do the job without this position.
Can I take a look at that policy for a second? Is that permissible, Mr. Chairman?
I think there's a copy in your packet.
I didn't.
This position is funded in the 2014 budget that's been
Right.
adopted.
Yep. It is, the hiring free policy is in the agenda item just before this. I mean, it's in the sheet, page 88 of 90. Chris?
Well, to piggyback on Commissioner Inman's point, the Parks and Rec is losing a full-time lifeguard. And you're going to hear somebody come in and say, that's critical to my operation. I've got to have that. That's 50% of my full-time staff. I don't think that today is the day I would support this. I would want to take a look at the budget as a whole after we've heard from all the departments and then prioritize. So Ernie, I'm sorry, I'm going to be a no.
I think the number one thing is the position is critical to department operations and would cause a substantial hardship on the operations or services to the public. That's the number one item, and that gives you the opportunity to be able to do that. I'm going to stop this and call for a roll call vote.
Commissioner Lathrop,
No.
Rennie,
Yes.
Inman,
No.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wheelock,
Yes.
Max Bauer,
No.
Lemko.
Yes. Motion passes. Thank you, Ernie.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Next Next, is there any other new business?
No, I'll let him come in.
We have,
We have this unfinished business.
the appointments.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to pass the resolution whereas county commissioners or elected officials are reporting to boards as drafted and provided to us. I guess if you want it read, Sonny Wheelock appointed to the Land Bank for a 3-year term. County Treasurer Heidi Shep reappointed to the Land Bank for a 3-year term. Dick Thomas to the Board of Public Works, 3-year term. Herb Limcool to the EDC for a 6-year term, excuse me. Larry Inman reappointed to Commission on Aging through December for a 3-year term. Inman to the Farmland Preservation Board for a 1-year term. Inman to the Central Dispatch Board for 1-year term. Limcool to the TC Talus Board for 1 year. Limcool to the Next Michigan Corporation Board for effective immediately through December 31st of 2014.
I have a motion. Do I have support?
I'll
Chris?
support.
Okay. There is a thing on your desk from Chris Forsythe that Commissioner Inman and Lemkel, we met to discuss this, and saying that these appointments could be for 6 years, but if you are no longer a commissioner, then you will not, then the new commissioner will be appointed for your position. Okay? Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next is any new business. Next is second public comment. Any commissioner reports? Chris?
Well, I wanted to give kudos to Danny Brown's staff. I was stopped in the Myers parking lot today, and they said that the Civic Center Trail, I was told the Civic Center Trail, the walking path, is just being kept up to above what one would expect with the weather that we've had, and so I was asked to give a compliment to Danny Brown and his staff, and also to tell Danny that his staff is extraordinarily friendly. So
They are.
I've passed that on.
Good, thank you.
We all agree.
I did get a letter from, or an email from Amanda Steele talking about the training presentation for county and city board members. I don't know if anybody else got that.
No.
Asking that we might want to have a joint meeting. It's about 2 hours long with a video from the Child Advocacy Center, Amelia Siders, called Darkness to Light, End Child Sexual Abuse.
When is that?
If that's something that the board would like to look at, a joint meeting with the city commission to be able to have that presentation in the future, I will talk to the Mayor Estes and find out if their board would be willing. I just thought, and I know all of us support the Children's Advocacy Center. We did make a donation out of our flower fund, and they thought that this was quite a moving presentation that was done on that. So if you don't mind, I will try and come up with a meeting time for this in the future.
Yeah.
So,
Sounds good.
okay. Did anybody go to the Parks and Recreation Conference? Could you want to give a little small report
Yes,
on
I
that,
do.
please?
Oh.
It seems I have some time.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Charlie.
It was a great conference, all-day conference at Grand Traverse Resort. Went to 4 study sessions. I pretty much focused on parks, recreation, and the economics of such. Found it very interesting, and I think going forward, when we look at our parks budget, we might be able to take a little different look at this. It was very worthwhile.
Dan?
I thought it was a great conference. I learned a lot. Parks are important. I support them. I think, though, that, I'll make the same statement, when I compare the sheriff compared to what the parks do, my vote's going to go in the sheriff's favor and take a little from them. But it doesn't mean I don't support parks. They're a very important to our community.
Chris?
I also attended the conference 2 days, and I think it behooves me to report that Doug Luciani's presentation was, by all reports I've received, inappropriate. He slammed the county board, included video of you, Mr. Chairman, stopping or limiting public, I shouldn't say stopping, limiting public comment. The city commission was also slammed a little bit for their position on limiting festivals in the open space, but the county board took it pretty hard from Mr. Luciani. I spoke with a number of commissioners, or not commissioners, but people, parks people that attended it and felt that it was inappropriate. And I wanted to pass that on. And I have requested a video, if there is one that exists, and the administrator is hopefully going to provide that, because I think it behooves all of us to know what was said.
Okay. Anything else? There is a 911 Connect conference on February 25th at the Haggerty Center. I have reserved for me to be there. So, as I said on the LEPIC.
I'm going there too.
I also am attending.
Okay, so there's 3 of us that are going to be going to that. And then don't forget that we did get a Code Red notification. So anybody that hasn't signed up for Code Red would recommend that you please do so you can get those notifications, and so that you can be notified timely of anything in particular that's happening in our county. Sonny?
I would like to comment a little bit about the Code Red, because I got multiple phone calls yesterday from people that received phone calls at their home and have no idea, and the way the recorded message comes through, it sounds like these people, there's some massive emergency going on. I got one in my office and I got one in my home too. We did a horrible job of rolling out this program.
Okay.
It's just, the phone calls that the people, I'm going to say I received at least a dozen phone calls yesterday and last night from people that received this recorded message about registering for Code Red, and they had no clue what the recording was about. We just really dropped the ball in rolling this program out. I absolutely think it's a good program, and I think it's something we need to be involved in, but we certainly should not have started the promotion of this program by computer-generated phone calls to people's homes.
That's for sure.
Okay.
Time it was over with, you didn't know what the hell they were talking about.
Well, yeah, it was a long recording.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got one too, actually.
Okay, I think, I'm sure that we can take that back to them and let them know.
They're well aware.
They're well aware of it.
It was just really handled badly.
Got the message.
Next is any other additions or comments from the board? If not, we're adjourned.
Went to hiding?
Yeah, they're
Nope.
well aware of that.
Okay.
Hold on.